Hey y'all. Okay, y'all. I'm just sick over this. I mean, I can't really believe what I'm reading right now. But a pastor in Detroit has been charged with murder, okay, for murdering a transgender woman. You know, it's bad enough that you have a pastor in a situation like this, okay? But what also disturbs me is that the person that they killed was a transgender. Okay? To me, and I'm just stating my own opinion, but I mean, it looks like a hate crime to me. You know, that's what it looks like. You have a pastor, you have a transgender, then you have the transgender getting murdered by the pastor. I mean, this is, you know, they're not stating yet why. They're saying they don't know why he killed her. Okay. But I mean, I'm sure, I feel like her gender identity had a lot to do with it. You know, and the fact that he was a pastor, and his story sounds ridiculous to me. Okay. He said that someone came in his house, or someone was attempting to rob him or burglarize his home, so he shot them in defense. I personally do not believe that. Okay, that sounds absurd to me. This is the young lady right here. Okay, 36-year-old Kelly Stowe. You know, and I call her a lady and a woman, and I refer to her as she, because that is how she lived her life, and that's how she presents herself. So, in my eyes, she's a woman. Okay? Says Detroit pastor charged with transgender woman's murder. Kelly Stowe, 36, was fatally shot on Friday. Prosecutors say her gender identity was a motivating factor in her murder. Kelly Stowe, a 36-year-old transgender woman from Detroit, was murdered on Friday in the city's Palmer Park neighborhood. On Monday, the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office charged Albert Weathers, a 46-year-old preacher, in her murder. After a police investigation, prosecutors arraigned Weathers on charges of open murder and use of a firearm in commission of a felony, said a press release shared with NBC News by the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office. Weathers is due back in court in late December, which will actually be December 20th. I got that date from another article. His bond has been set at $1 million. Prosecutors said they will present evidence in court that Stowe's gender identity was a motivating factor in her murder. According to LGBTQ news site N2, Weathers called police to report a robbery and claimed he had shot someone in self-defense, though NBC News has not independently confirmed this call was made. Friends and family remembered Kelly as a loving, big-spirited, and courageous woman who was well known in the Detroit's ballroom scene. I want people to know that because she was transgender, that doesn't mean she wasn't loved, that she wasn't cared for, Jessica Shante Stowe, Kelly's mother, said in an interview with NBC News. She has a family who cared about her, who loved her, and I want them to know that transgender ladies, especially those of color, they're not just throwaway. They're just not throwaways. People do care about them. She was educated. She was God-filled. She loved church. She loved others, Stowe continued. As a human being in the United States of America, you have the right to be who you want to be, and you shouldn't be ashamed or bullied or persecuted for the choice you make. The victim's cousin, Nicole R. Mapson Cohn, started a GoFundMe page to help the family pay for Kelly's funeral cost. And we'll go to that in just a minute, okay, just so I can show you all the page if anybody wants to make a donation. Elio Cruz, a spokesperson for LGBTQ nonprofit Anti-Violence Project, called violence against trans women a national epidemic, and noted Kelly Stowe spoke out on the violence against trans women just a few years ago, only to become a victim of violence. We mourn the loss of her life at the Anti-Violence Project and will work to honor her by uplifting the whole of her life as a vibrant member of the Detroit community and ballroom scene, and not erase her as a number or statistic, Cruz said. Indeed, Stowe was quoted in 2015 by The Guardian following the murder of a 20-year-old black transgender woman. The article, which quoted Stowe, used her stage name, Kiana Mattel, focused on trans residents not feeling protected by Detroit's police. The police are unaware with our struggle, so they have no sympathy for us, Stowe told Newsite. Nobody ever asked what happened to the person to get here. Stowe's murder case has been assigned to Special Prosecutor Jamie Powell Horowitz, who works for the Fair Michigan Justice Project, a pro bono collaboration between Fair Michigan and LGBTQ advocacy group and the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office. Dana Nessel, president of Fair Michigan and the state's attorney general-elect, said FMJP was founded because she and other LGBTQ advocates noticed the exponential rise in hate crimes, really against all minority communities, but especially against the LGBT community. Okay, this is Albert Weathers right here. This is the pastor who murdered Kelly Stowe. He looks very mean and not really nice. You know, I mean, a pastor, I don't know. He doesn't look very nice to me. I wouldn't look at him and think he would be a pastor. Cold cases were going unsolved, and many of them, quite frankly, were not being investigated very well. They were not being solved, not being charged, and certainly there were no convictions, Nessel said. Since the founding of the Fair Michigan Justice Project in 2016, Nessel noted that the group has a 100% conviction rate and thinks that the $1 million bail set for the suspect in Stowe's murder is a sign of how seriously Michigan prosecutors now take hate crimes against the LGBTQ community. After she is sworn in as the Attorney General, Stowe promised to use her office to push for an update to Michigan's ethnic intimidation statute, the names of the state's hate crimes law, to more clearly include LGBTQ and gender nonconforming people. So far in 2018, at least 25 trans people have been murdered in the U.S., the vast majority of whom are young women of color, according to the Human Rights Campaign, a national LGBTQ advocacy organization. Hate crimes against LGBTQ people in the U.S. continued to rise in 2017, jumping 3% from the year prior, according to hate crimes data released by the FBI last month. Lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender people make up for more than 16% of all hate crime victims, according to the FBI's report, despite comprising an estimated 4.5% of the general population. Okay. Now, like I said, okay, this man right here is the preacher that murdered the beautiful woman, Kelly Stowe. Okay, this is her. I mean, she is absolutely beautiful to me. I think that she is gorgeous. And just by looking at this picture, okay, I wouldn't be able to look at her and tell that she was born a man, okay, by looking at the picture. I haven't seen her in person. I haven't seen a whole picture of her or anything like that yet, okay, just this, okay. So by me looking at her, I wouldn't be able to tell that, she was born a man. I don't know what the relationship was between her and the preacher, okay. To me, it sounds like he's trying to cover something up. Obviously, he said someone came in, or I'm sorry, he called the police to report a robbery and claimed he shot someone in self-defense. Now, looking at this woman, okay, looking at her and knowing everything that she's done in her life, okay, public speaker, all types of stuff, okay, she's involved in ballroom and all of this, I don't see her going to go rob anybody, okay, so we can go ahead and scratch that out, okay. What sounds more logical to me is that, she could have possibly, been maybe hooking up with the pastor, okay, and this is nothing against her, okay. Whatever she did in her life, that is her business, okay. He might not have known that she was a woman. I'm sorry, that, she was a man or born a man. He might not have had any idea, okay, which to me, I still don't find a problem. And the reason I say that is because it happens a lot of times. This happens a lot, there's a lot of transgender women, who were born men or who, still, have male parts. A lot of times, they might, pose as a female, okay? But the thing is, I don't fault them, okay? I fault the other person. Because I feel like this. You can't get mad when you're doing something you have no business doing to begin with. And the reason I say that is because maybe if they weren't so quick, okay, these men, the quote-unquote straight men that are hooking up with a lot of these transgenders, and then they get mad because, oh, I found out it was really a man. Well, maybe you shouldn't be so quick to hop into bed with somebody. It's just that simple, And now, this preacher, he better go ahead and get used to it. Because that's going to be his option, hopefully, for the rest of his life. He's going to be in prison with other transgenders or other men, dressing as females and all of this. All this goes on. So, and then when you go to prison and they find out you've done something like this, who knows? He might get what's coming to him. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so wrong. It's so wrong. And, they say, I can't remember what it was. But the thing is, okay, he is literally, in my eyes, he's killed an innocent person, okay? She didn't do any crime. She didn't do nothing wrong to him, except for maybe his own personal, wants or whatever. But the way I look at it, I feel like they might have been hooking up, and I don't know. This is just what I'm gathering, okay? Because this happens a lot in situations like this, okay? And like I said, I'm not talking bad about her. I think she's a very beautiful woman. She's gorgeous. She is absolutely beautiful to me. And I feel like, everything that I've read about her and things that, they've said that she's done, I think that she was a beautiful soul. I think she had a beautiful heart, a beautiful soul, and I do believe that she was just a beautiful person inside and out. And I don't hold her at fault for anything that happened. I'm not blaming her because she was innocent I feel like she was innocent. She didn't deserve this. Nobody deserves to die. This is ridiculous. She didn't deserve to get shot or die or any of that. And this preacher, he's the one that's wrong. Okay? Right here. He's wrong. First of all, you're a preacher. You're getting up and you're preaching a service in church to everybody else. But in the background, behind the scenes, you're doing all kind of stuff that you call a sin. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we all know, you're not supposed to just go out and have sex with somebody. Okay? Isn't that a sin? That's a sin, right? And I'm saying, look, nobody's perfect. Okay? A lot of us have, had sex with somebody and haven't been married. I have kids. I've never been married. But this is a preacher. And that's what I'm saying. So, by him jumping up to go have sex with somebody, and then, all the preachers want to say that, being a transgender and all this stuff is a sin. So that's, if you're planning on sleeping with someone, you're committing another sin. Okay, like you're doing things that aren't right. This is why he's locked up right now. Because he was wrong. And he murdered her. So there goes your number one sin right there. Murder. You took somebody else's life. I mean, I hate to say this. Well, I don't hate to say it. But I hope he rots in hell. I really do. I really honestly do. Because he took the life of a gorgeous woman who, was making a positive mark in her life, a positive mark in her community, and it's sad. It's sad because the people that are positive and that are trying to, leave positive impressions on the world and in the communities and stuff like that, they're the ones that are having their lives taken for nothing, So, I pray for her family. I mean, I feel so terrible for her family who has to go through this, and it's very heartbreaking for me to see things like this because everybody needs to love everybody. Stop worrying about what the next person's doing or, oh, I don't like what they're doing. They're not doing things for you to like. You're not supposed to do stuff for the next person to like that. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're doing something for that person. Other than that, what you do with your life and your own personal time doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter what someone else likes. It's not up to them. That's her life. This is her life. And from what I see, she had a pretty good life. I mean, everybody deals with hate. Everybody deals with, different things in their life. But I mean, this is one more beautiful black woman whose life was taken just because of who she was or how she lived. And it's very sad. So I'm going to go ahead and end this, y'all. Leave your comments and feedback below. If y'all would like to send me anything, you can do so on my email, or you can add me on Facebook and send whatever you'd like through there. If y'all have not subscribed to my other channel, please click on the link down below, subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification bell. Till the next time I talk to y'all, y'all have a wonderful day, and I love y'all.